Okay, today's number talk, we're going to be practicing a specific strategy. Everyone, what's the strategy we're going to be practicing? Okay, and we're going to explore what that strategy means. Everyone, what is this called? An expression. So an expression doesn't have an equal sign or an answer, right? So our job is to try and figure out what is the answer to this expression. So in your head right now, you're thinking mentally, and when you have an answer, you're going to give me a thumb at your chest. What do you think the answer would be to the expression 48 plus 34? Hands down, because we don't raise hands for number talk, so we keep our thumbs at our chest so people have plenty of time. I've seen lots of students trying different strategies. And I want you to really be thinking, what are you doing in your head to find the answer? Okay, what are you doing in your head to find the answer? So Alex, you'll just be with them today, and Rosalinda will come and join you. Okay, Regina? So I see about 50% of you have a thumb. Some of you are still using your tools to get the answer. Joshua, can you scooch all the way over? Clyde, scooch all the way over. Rosalinda, sit next to Clyde, your partner's Regina. I see about 75% of you with thumbs. Rebecca, are you solving this in your head? Have you figured out the answer? Okay, I need to see a thumb then. Okay, whisper the answer into your hand. And let it out. 82! Did anybody get an answer other than 82? Eduardo, what did you get?
I got 92.
Okay, so we have an 82 and a 92. So one thing that I'm going to show you first is how I would chunk this, okay? Because remember, our goal today is to practice the strategy adding up in chunks, okay? A lot of you might have stacked the numbers in your head and regrouped, yes? Give me a thumbs up if you stacked and regrouped in your head and you tried to just keep track of the numbers and visualized. Okay, good. Give me a thumbs up if you added on starting in the ones and then added on starting in the tens. Some of you used place value to find the answer, okay? I used chunks, okay, to add. So I decomposed one of the numbers, which means I broke it apart. What does decompose mean? Broken apart. So I kept the first added, okay, and that was the one I was going to add on to. Okay, so I kept the first added in my head and I was going to add on to that. But I decomposed 34 into 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 4. Okay? And I started with adding 10 to 48, which would be 58, and then 68, and then 78, and then I added 4 to 78, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82. Okay? So this is how I added the sum by breaking it up into chunks, or decomposing 30 and then adding using chunks. Does that make sense? Okay. Does anyone have any questions about that strategy? Alex?
Couldn't you just do simplify 4 plus 3 equals 7, and then 8 plus 4 equals 12, and then add 7 plus 12? Like 70 plus 12?
So adding the tens first and then adding the ones. So the strategy Alex is talking about right now is using place value to add the numbers, and you could have absolutely done that, right? I could have broken apart 48 into 40 plus 8 and broken up or decomposed 34 into 30 plus 4, added the tens and then added the ones. Absolutely. That is definitely a strategy you can use to solve math problems in your head. But in this strategy, I want you to practice adding up into chunks, okay? So using the first add-in and then counting on. Does that make sense? Some of y'all are zoning out, so eyeballs up here. I'm going to reveal the next problem, and I want you in your head to try and solve it. Give me a thumb when you're ready, and then when I say go, you're going to turn and talk with your partner how you found the answer or the sum to this expression. Okay? So this is the next problem. Everybody read the expression?
73 plus 44.
Okay, so in your head, how can you add these two add-ins together and find the sum using chunks? How can we use chunks to do that? Raise your thumb. You have the sum in your head. of you. 75%.
Hello teachers, please excuse this very important announcement coming to you live from Dr. Picard's office. We are going to be on rainy day recess schedule today. All hands on deck, and Mr. Ha, please come see me when you dismiss your class. Thank you.
And waiting for thumbs, please. We're not getting excited for rainy day recess, we're focusing on the math expression. Okay, Karina, who's your partner? You guys both don't have a thumb up, so were you able to find the answer in your head? Okay, Abelard. I want to make sure every partnership has at least one person that has the answer. Thank you, Leticia. Okay, so turn and talk with your partner. Did you get the same answer? Talk about your strategy.
I don't know how I what you're supposed to do, you know the 44, you have to break it down into 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. But you plus 4. But you don't add those all together. You pretend it's the ones that have 10 have a 0 on the right side. Pretend those are like in the second digit, like so 10 and 4 is in the 1 place, and you do it separately. So you're putting 2 into 7 together to get one total, but that's not what you're supposed to do. Maybe you got confused with the 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 4. You got kind of confused. For now, you could be adding normally, but right now you're getting adding like a chunks, kind of confused. The tens.
4, 3, 2, and 1. Regina, what was the answer to this expression? What's the sum?
Well, I wasn't able to figure it out before Rosalinda, so basically this is Rosalinda's answer, and her answer was 117.
Okay, so what did she tell you she did? Since you weren't quite there yet, can you restate what she did? What was her strategy? How did she get 117? Give me a thumbs up if you also got 117.
Well,
Did anyone get a different answer? Okay, what did she do, Regina?
Well, I don't actually remember as well, but I think she mentally added, or...
Well, how did she mentally add? What was her strategy? Because I asked you to try and use adding up in chunks. So how did she chunk it? What's up, dude?
Miss Cappy wants to know if there's going to be a leadership meeting
Wednesday.
So she split the number 73 and 44, like 40 plus 4 and 70 plus 3, and she had 70 plus 4 and 3 plus 4.
So she decomposed 70 into 70 plus 3 and then decomposed 40 into 40 plus 4. Is that correct? Rosalinda? And then you added 7 plus 3 and got 7, and 70 plus 40 is 110, so then you had 110 plus 7 to get 117. Is that correct? Anybody else use that same strategy? Yes. Anyone use a totally different strategy? Did somebody chunk it differently? Leticia, how did you chunk it? So I heard the way Alicia described it is Leticia was the way that she described it. Girl, am I allowed to make a mistake? Relax, okay? The way she described it is she was using place value and she stacked in order to find the answer, right? Correct? But what strategy am I asking you to practice?
Adding up in chunks.
Adding up in chunks. I'm asking you to chunk the numbers in different ways. I'm not asking you to add it up the traditional way. And the last time we tried this, we had to really start to train our brains to think differently, and that's one of the goals of doing this, okay? So Alex, how did you chunk? That's awesome. Give each of you 2 snaps for trying a new strategy out. I'm going to reveal 2 more problems, okay? And when I reveal these 2 problems, I want you to try and do the first one in your head. And then when you and your partner both have it, I want you to talk about your strategy. And the second problem is there for you if you are done talking with your partner and you want to try something different. Does that make sense? Remember, what strategy are we practicing? Adding up in chunks, and you can chunk it different ways, but I want you to start decomposing or breaking apart the numbers in order to add things in a more efficient way. Okay, what's the first expression we're adding in our head? 96 plus 23. Add that in your head and give me thumbs. When you and your partner both have a thumb, you can turn and share your strategy, and this is a challenge problem you can try if you're all finished. Okay, so I want you to try and chunk it. Try and decompose and break apart the numbers and add on in order to find the sum or the answer. You aren't yelling out answers. I want you to get the answer ready and show me with the thumb, and then you're going to share with your partner and confirm if that's the correct answer. The second one, you're not supposed to be doing it. The second one is an extension problem, so if you and your partner are done talking, you have something else to work on. I'm waiting for thumbs. I only see about 20% of you. You should be finding the answer to 96 plus 23. Regina? Emily, who's your partner? So who should you be focused on? Nope, you're not talking to Emily, Regina. Sorry, she's not your math partner. Ryder? Good? Abelard? Stop worrying about your water and worry about what we're doing. Okay, turn and talk with your partner. Holly, why don't you join Alex G and